This is the ABCs of Loona part 3, part 1 out of 2. Sadly, I didn't have a lot of time this week, and so I have to release this part as 2 videos. This video covers the solos of Eclipse, Jinsoul and Choerry, and the next video will cover all of their Odd Eye Circle MVs. Eclipse was introduced to us as the 6th member of Loona, so we're halfway there. Her title track is called Eclipse. The MV has white borders and the intro has changed to a black background and a red moon going from the left to the right side, before eclipsing. In the description of her MV it says, with the introduction of Eclipse, Loona eclipses. In the beginning of the MV everything seems really pale, almost white, with just a little hint of red and the dark building as a contrast. The Odd Eye Circle members all wear Converse with a red line at the bottom of the shoe in their solo MVs. Also, she is walking through water on the ground. Did it maybe rain before this MV? We are seeing Eclipse through the eyes of an observer that is hidden in the shadows. The building is round and has a glass opening at the top. What to me is really interesting is that in the beginning of the MV she is shown wearing a school uniform, just like the 1/3 and the YYXY members. This fits 1/3 and YYXY's fresh and youthful concepts, but as soon as Eclipse is shown emerging in her color, her clothing changes to her now more mature and girl crush concept. Like a bit of her innocence being stripped away by awakening her odd eye. Also, Eclipse's bow has 2 white stripes on it, which is unique to her uniform. This again looks like someone is watching Eclipse. Eclipse's assigned animal is an owl, and this owl has a red eye that looks just a bit like the eclipsing moon. Now we see Eclipse with red light around her. The screen goes from red to Eclipse dancing in red, then black and white scenes, before we see a pale blue and red scene. This scene cuts in between each other, as if Eclipse has these 2 conflicting sides, the red side and the black and white side, and her dancing in the red circle looks like a ritual, like she is performing some kind of awakening dance. Again, a red circle around her, as if Eclipse circles all of the other members. She is the 6th member. She is the only one that has an eclipsing moon, and she is the one that opens up another circle. This shot from the top of the building kind of makes it look like the Earth, as if this is the Earth and this is the moon that is about to block the sun, just like an eclipse, you know? And there is Eclipse at the center of it all. Maybe her dance is the reason for the sun to eclipse. We see the forest surrounding the building, turning red, just like it did in Choerry's MV. Maybe Eclipse is now in Middle Earth, or she was all along. All of a sudden there are 4 background dancers, 2 with black hair, 1 with what seems to be brown hair, and 1 with blonde hair. This could be a representation of Heejins, Hyunjin, Hasul and Bibi. Now Eclipse has red lips and is wearing a more revealing red outfit with hoop earrings, again showing off some kind of circle. Now another shot with a new outfit and the background is blue, whilst Eclipse is contrasting this with her red. The MV generally is showing off a lot of Eclipse's color, which is red, but also some blue in contrast to her red. Now an outfit with black, white and minimal red. This could very well be a symbolic way of showing us Eclipse's struggle with becoming a Odd Eye Circle member, not being sure if she wants to let her red bloom, and maybe going back and forth to Earth and Eden now that she has her powers. Again, Eclipse switching from her innocent to her mature concept. Another way to show us contrasting concepts. Green is the opposite of red, which is why Eclipse's chin is green in this shot, so I don't necessarily know if this is supposed to be a reference to something. There are 2 male dancers now. Maybe the dancers don't need to mean anything, but I always wondered if Yves has a connection to Eclipse and Chu's first time on Earth was when the carol took place. Do Yves and Chu maybe already know other members in the Loonaverse? I think it is also interesting that the Odd Eye Circle music is described as man-ish by BBC in some of the descriptions. So while 1/3 is girlish and YYYY is boyish, I mean they have a lot of Y's in their name, which could be a reference to the XY chromosomes, so the male chromosomes. Odd-Eye Circle seems to be a mixture of both. They are connecting the two other subunits, which is also seen in the connections of Choerry and Jinsoul to both 1/3 and YYYY. Without them, there wouldn't really be a direct connection between 1/3 and YYYY. Also, I would like to add that Kim Lip sings in her song It Has Started, Eclipse. This makes sense in a way because Kim Lip's moon eclipses and her awakening her powers could be at the beginning of the timeline. Also in Olivia Hayes' MV there is a lot of red, and who also has a lot of red in their MV? Heejin. Kim Lip connects the first and the last member. She is the beginning of the timeline and spreads her red color. And Heejin sees that color. In Heejin's MV she sings red, orange, yellow, green more vividly, be okay. And when she says be okay, she makes an O with her hand in front of her eye, highlighting her eye, just like an odd eye, for example. This seems to me like Kim Lip maybe helped to awaken the other colors. It is red for Kim Lip, then orange for Yeojin, yellow for Hyunjin, and then green for Haseul. Now let's get creative for a moment. What do all of these members have in common? They all display some kind of oddness. Kim Lip has an odd eye. Yeojin jumps around like a frog and ends up in a dark forest, which could be the forest in Eden. Hyunjin assists the Odd-Eye Circle members in the Girlfriend MV and is seen in the One and Only MV as a cat. And finally, Haseul. She meets a copy of herself, just like Kim Lip does in Girlfriend. Something that I didn't mention in my Haseul MV analysis is that in some shots the lips of the boy are highlighted. He has blonde hair. Maybe there is the possibility that Haseul met Kim Lip. This could explain why the color in Haseul's intro is red instead of her green. Just like she wears a lot of red outfits and no green outfits. In a way, I feel like we should focus a lot more on the colors shown to us, and at the same time, well, I don't know if we are supposed to take a closer look at the colors, because they were only really emphasizing the colors for the Odd-Eye Circle members. So the Odd-Eye Circle members' colors seem to have an importance, while they didn't quite do this with the other subunits. So I guess I will just make another video explaining all of the colors and their connections and the symbols used in the Loonaverse, because this would really take a lot of space in a video, and this video is supposed to be about me analyzing the Odd-Eye Circle members' MVs. So maybe subscribe if you want to see that video in the future. Well, this is definitely all interesting, because a lot of people think that Kim Lip does not have a connection to other Loona members. And all of this to me seems like she might be one of the most important puzzle pieces to understanding the Loonaverse. And the lyrics, Kim Lip mentions Pandora's box. This is quite interesting, not only because of the connection to Pandora. Kim Lip mentions her curiosity in the lyric, and her zealousness is mentioned in the other Odd-Eye Circle descriptions, but also because Pandora's box has some interesting connections to YYYY. The god Prometheus stole fire from the heavens to give it to the human race, which originally consisted only of men. To punish humanity, the other gods created the first woman, the beautiful Pandora. As a gift, Zeus gave her a box, which she was told to never open. However, as soon as he was out of sight, she took off the lid of the box. Pandora's curiosity got the best of her, and she opened the box, ending earthly paradise. From the small chest flew trouble and sorrows, disease, violence, greed, madness, old age and death, to plague humankind forever. Only hope was left in the box, stuck under the lid. This is why anything that looks ordinary but may produce unpredictable harmful results can thus be called a Pandora's box. While the story seems really bleak and horrible, if we think about what YYYY is trying to do in the Loonaverse, this seems to not be that bad. YYXY wants to get away from Eden. The endless perfection they strive for is making their lives horrible. They live in paradise and hate it so much that they want to get away. Kimlip is a representation of Pandora. She is cursed to carry the whole punishment of mankind on her shoulders. She quote-unquote opens the box and awakens everything imperfect about the world. But if perfection is sorrowful and makes you hate your life, it seems to me like this is an act of emancipating humankind from the gods. If they live with all of the bad, they at least get to live their lives without having a Damocles sword hanging over their heads. And the YYXY girls have to go through a lot, but this makes them change and they only start loving themselves by accepting their imperfections. So in a way, without the bad, there wouldn't be the good. Like literally, faith, love, hope and anger are all emotions which in their pure form can be both good and bad. If you have faith, that can give you the power to overcome hardships. But if you only rely on your faith, you can't change anything about yourself, so your faith can actually hurt yourself. Love can give you the strength to overcome hardship as well, but it can bring you hardship as well. If you fall in love and your loved one doesn't reciprocate your feelings, and you cannot accept this, you can end up sorrowful. If you have hope, well, you're hopeful. But if you hope for a different future without putting any work into it, you will end up waiting and hoping for something that will maybe never happen. Anger is the obvious outlier in this roster. It is obviously bad, isn't it? Well, not always. Anger can actually be a really important part of changing things. If the YYXY girls wouldn't have been at least a bit angry at how things worked in Eden, well, they wouldn't have had the motivation to exit Eden or to love themselves. Anger is seen as something bad, but just like the other emotions can be bad, this one can be good. It is all about how you react to these feelings. So in a way, without both good and bad, the YYXY girls would have never exited Eden. And this is true with all of these subunits in a way. 1/3 were waiting for the love to come. While it is good to be patient, if you wait too long, your loved one will maybe already love somebody else, like in Heejins' case. The Oddeye Circle members are upfront and ask the boy out instead of waiting. They do it right, but if they are too upfront, that can be irritating to some people. They have to respect people's boundaries after all. And YYXY is starting to love themselves. Truly the best form of love. Well, if you love yourself too much, you start to rely only on yourself, and nobody is perfect, so mistakes are going to happen. All of the members have to come together to perfect their circle. You have to be patient, and when you see the opportunity, you should be brave and upfront. But at the end, you should always love yourself. So if we combine the 3 subunits, we get the perfect answer for the question and the description of Sonatin. Is love something sweet or is it something cruel? Well, it can be both. Without the cruel, there wouldn't be the sweet, but you can always love yourself and others around you, and this can give you the strength to overcome your hardships. So let's continue the analysis. Now we get some close-up shots of Kimlip's eye. We can see the red forest and the round building again, now reminding us of an eye that switches into a red eclipsing sun. Now the eye of the owl, Kimlip's representative animal, switches into the red eclipsing sun. Again an owl with the focus being put onto its red eyes. Then switches to Kimlip opening her eyes and it looks blurry. Just like the eyes of the members were kind of blurry in the Sweet Crazy Love MV, where we see their powers awakening. We see a really fast switch of the red sun eclipsing and then the red circle Kimlip is dancing on in this MV, again representing a connection of Kimlip's dancing making the sun eclipse, changing something in the Loonaverse perhaps. In this scene you can see the contrasts of the blue background and Kimlip's red. I don't know how other orbits think about this, but I feel like maybe Jinsoul was the first member of the Oddeye Circle girls to notice her newfound powers. while Kimlip is the first one to awaken her abilities to the fullest potential by making the moon eclipse and making the whole earth, or maybe even the universe, appear in her color. Now we can also see some purple on her head and her shoulders, as well as in the background. Purple is the in-between color for red and blue, so this makes sense, but it could also be a reference to Choerry. Next you can see red smoke. Smoke is a reoccurring motif in the Loonaverse. This could very well symbolize the awakening of one's Ori, or it shows how you give the world color. Now Kimlip's color deepens. She is dancing in a vivid red color. Now the owl appears in a purple hue, while the eye is still red. This switches to a close-up of Kimlip's mouth and the camera pans up to her eyes. In some of the in-between shots, it seems almost like the screen is pinkish purple. We can see in the Sweet Crazy Love MV that Kimlip's powers started to bloom when she accidentally met Choerry, who at the time was sleeping, showing just how powerful Choerry is, and so it makes sense that purple would make its way into this MV. We see through the eyes of the observer from the beginning of the MV again when Kimlip notices and turns around. Now she leaves again, having colored the world red. In the teaser for the Eclipse MV, at the end we can see the red forest, and over the round building is the title of the song, with the lip highlighted in red. It has been stated in the past that Kimlip's name was chosen to put an emphasis on her red lips. This is an interesting detail in the Loonaverse. The description of the Eclipse MV says, while Heejin, Hyunjin, Haseul, Yeojin and BB have released their solo singles each month to build up the true form as Lunar, Love and Live and Love and Evil were the first real steps towards the Loonaverse, the alternate universe Loona lives in. As previously announced, the girl of May has arrived. Kimlip is a 19-year-old girl who starts to draw a new circle, different from the one drawn by the previous members. While we traveled around the world, going to places such as France, Japan, Iceland, England, Taiwan, New Zealand, Hong Kong and Busan, to witness the Loona episodes according to location, the new circle will evolve around 3 different colors. Kimlip, representing the color red, will gather 2 other girls to add to the palette of the circle. While Loona 1/3 has asked questions about love, the sweetness and the pain, the joy, the worries and hidden emotions, Kimlip tells without any hesitations that love just happens like it's destined to in the lyrics. Even the moonlight feels like you, she says in the supporting track Twilight, singing through a sleepless night towards the moon, adding a deeper tint to Kimlip's color red. Kimlip is a fresh start for Loona's expansion of the universe. A new unit will be formed along with the Girl of June and the Girl of July to present a whole new color, different from Loona 1/3. The new unit and Loona 1/3 will coexist and unify the Loonaverse, and when other members scattered around the world unite to create a bigger circle as a whole. The construction of the moon Loona has been dreaming about will be complete. Can Jinsoul, rescued from the basement in Hong Kong by the wishes of the fans, meet with the rest of Loona? This is probably not meant in a literal way, but more so as a joke. To put it in context, in the K-pop industry, this means to not use an idol's talent or to not let them express their fullest potential. An example would be, if only BBC didn't put Go On in the basement, she can dance, rap and sing. She would definitely be really popular if they would give her more songs and promotions. Will Yeojin find her way towards the other members without wandering off somewhere else? Who will Kimlip meet to complete her circle of colors? With the introduction of Kimlip, Loona eclipses. After this, Jinsoul finally debuted with her song Singing in the Rain. The MV has white borders and the intro has a black background as well as a blue moon going from left to right, but this time the moon doesn't eclipse. You know the famous quote from the Bible, "The earth was without form and void, the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness." I know that using the Bible to explain the Loonaverse might sound a little crazy, but we know that YYYY has a lot of references to the Bible. I mean, the place they live in is called Eden. Let that sink in. So what I'm trying to say is that in the beginning there was darkness, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. Then there was light, and then the two were divided into light and dark. Kimlip is not necessarily God in this situation, but she made everything begin with her eclipse. She opened the door for magical, unworldly powers. And then Jinsoul, who is associated with water, brings the darkness into the world. Then Choerry is added and she brings the lightness into the world. In some translations, the light is more so a word for existence in it of itself. So is it too far-fetched to think that these three members created Middle-earth? I mean, in Kimlip's MV she transforms the green forest into a red forest, just like Choerry makes the grass purple. And Jinsoul, who exists in the void, can control the water. She makes it rain and can even float around in the air as if it was water. I feel like we probably see Middle-earth in all of their MVs because they can control their surroundings. And I'm guessing that they can control their surroundings in Middle-earth because they created this magical place. This also fits in well with the Sweet Crazy Love MV, where everything is black and white, the literal absence of color, and only once they open their odd eyes, awakening their powers, do we get to see color. Also in the beginning of the MV we see Yves' eye. She is observing the members. Maybe the Odd Eye Circle members created Middle-earth to travel from Earth to Eden. It could be like a bridge between these worlds. And yes, this is Yves' eye. Even though we can see Kimlip's eye in the teaser, this is not the same eye. It looks like Yves' eye and nothing like the eyes of the Odd Eye Circle members. Also, this eye is not wearing a contact lens. The Odd Eye Circle members wear contact lenses to show off their odd eyes, and this one is just a normal eye. In the beginning of the MV, we see Jinsoul surrounded by darkness, when suddenly we see her walking towards a light source. We can see her Converse, and later on in the MV we get a clearer shot at them. She is holding a bag with water that seems to have a fish in it. Now she is standing in the light and we can see her uniform. She has a blue uniform, but she does not have any stripes on her bow. Now the MV switches between dark shots of Jinsoul walking around and her in a black leather outfit with pink or red lights in the background. This seems to be a VHS shot of her, reminiscent of Vivi's MV and the Voice of Rain 51 decibel MV. These VHS shots look like handheld shots, and when Jinsoul notices that she is being filmed, the person filming her seems to start running away from her. Jinsoul probably follows the person, which is why she is shown running. This could be a reference to a lot of things, but I feel like this could be Yves. She is listening to the tapes of the Loona 1/3 members that BB had in her MV, and she has a frog plush in her MV to symbolize Heejin, while in Rain 51 decibel there is a teddy bear as a stand-in for Heejin. In the Girlfriend MV, Yves is running around them, like she is toying with the members. And then in the Cinema Theory, she is confronting Choerry and probably asks her for help. Now Jinsoul is dancing on water and the background looks both pink and purple-ish. Again we see blue VHS effects before we see what seems to be the POV of someone running away from Jinsoul. The moon is covered by clouds, just like the lyrics suggest, and the air that gets soaked in rain. The water looks a bit like Heejin's vivid pink, but also just a bit purple. Now we get more handheld blue VHS shots. Now these lyrics are quite interesting. Guilty of swallowing the sun in the afternoon. This sentence also appears in Olivia Hayes' Egoist MV and in the Love and Live MV. Even though it can be translated into hugging the sun, in some cases it is translated with swallowing the sun. This could be a metaphor for a lot of different things, but something that seems fitting to me is the old Chinese explanation for eclipses. The people thought that eclipses were caused by a dragon eating the sun. In Hindu mythology, people believe that there is an immortal demon head who chases the sun and moon in anger and occasionally swallows them, causing an eclipse. In Egyptian mythology, there's a demon of chaos that looks like a snake, and he wants to swallow the sun god so that the world returns to a unity of darkness. In Norse mythology, there are two wolves who want to devour the sun and the moon. So we can see that in a lot of different cultures, there was the belief that an eclipse is just someone swallowing the sun. This to me also seems like a reference to Eclipse MV. Now we see a glitching effect that makes it look like rain, and maybe this symbolizes Jinsoul becoming the rain or being in control of the rain. More VHS shots, and maybe I'm just delulu, but her uniform doesn't look blue to me. If you would put a blue filter over a blue uniform, it wouldn't look like this. It looks just a little bit like a red uniform to me. Again, Jinsoul is standing almost in complete darkness before it switches to more VHS shots and a glitching rain effect, and then transitions to a new outfit. Now Jinsoul is wearing white. More glitching, and now we see purple and what seems to be pink make an appearance. Did you notice that these effects are only around Jinsoul? Maybe she is dancing to make it rain, just like Eclipse was dancing to create an eclipse. I feel like in this shot you might be able to see what I'm seeing a bit clearer. Does that look like blue to you? Now we see blue water bubbling. Jinsoul now has a dark blue dress, is walking through a room filled with shelves that have fish tanks on them. The top of the room is purple and the bottom is blue, and the fish in some shots seem to be like a orange red-ish shade. In this shot it definitely looks like the fish is red and the water is a mix of purple and blue. Jinsoul is holding her blue betta fish, which is her representative animal, in her hand, and it is in a jar. Black and white shots, just like in Eclipse MV. Now the fish is shown in a vivid blue color, and we see Jinsoul in a water tank, and let me reach a little bit, okay? The background has some plants and the ground is covered in smoke. Some people believe that Jinsoul is originally from Eden. Eden is associated with the dark forest and their really tight and strict rules. Being in a really small fish tank could be described as tight, I guess, and it would be a good metaphor. The YYYY members are like fish who could explore the whole wide world, but are constricted to this tiny place that feels tight and constricted. Another theory a lot of orbits have is the theory that BB is from Eden, as well as that Jinsoul might be the one who tried to help her escape Eden. This could explain the usage of her color and the appearance of Jinsoul in BB's Everyday I Need You MV. Now Jinsoul found a tank with fishes standing besides all of the shelves. She is breaking away from the constricted rules of the world / tank and finds one that is away from all the others. Again, blue, hot pink and purple switching and transitioning into one another, and then we see dark blue smoke, similar to the red smoke in Eclipse MV. Now Jinsoul is sitting next to the fish tank, again breaking away from her constricted tank, going out into the wide world. This doesn't necessarily have to mean anything, but Jinsoul is colored in purple and pink before being flipped around. Maybe this is a metaphor for her first time traveling in the Loonaverse, and the swallowing of the afternoon sun means that she has eaten one of the magical cherries. Jinsoul is spreading her color in the fish tank, literally coloring this world blue like Eclipse colored the world red. Next we see Jinsoul in purple again, and the glitching effects look like she is teleporting somewhere. Then she becomes blue again before switching to her in her white outfit. In this scene everything inside of the fish tank is glitching. Maybe Jinsoul is changing the people inside of this world. Again, blue and pink switching to black and purple, then to white and blue, and the LEDs have moved as well, 2 LEDs being lit up. Something seems to be engulfed by the water, maybe Jinsoul jumping into this new fish tank / world. Now the fishbowl is full of her blue smoke and her surroundings are black, just like her assigned color. The fish is now added into the new fish tank and Jinsoul seems to be represented by this fish, because after this we see her float in the air just like a fish and her sequence top is shining. Now we can see more blue glitching effects that morph into water bubbling, followed by fast shots of Jinsoul, the fish and the blue smoke. And now we see Jinsoul in her uniform again. She is dancing in the rain before she morphs into the Jinsoul that is underwater. Now we get a better look at her Converse, and they seem to have a red stripe as well. In the teaser for Singing in the Rain there is an interesting detail as well. For example, the hint of purple and red were already teased to the viewer in this teaser. The description of the MV says, Loona is a K-pop group building its own unique universe. The story of Loona started with the first girl, Heejin. Then Hyunjin, a close friend and a schoolmate of Heejin, joined Loona. Hasul, who always seems to cause rain wherever she goes, and the youngest member Yeojin, who hops around everywhere like a noisy frog, joined along. An android from Hong Kong, Bibi was introduced to complete Loona's first milestone, Loona 1/3. As they pass through the endless forest created with Love and Live and Love and Evil, Loona's universe kept on expanding. Each girl meets another girl, like building blocks stacking, and the encounters of each girl creates new synergies to bear berries. The structure built by these young innocent girls eclipsed with Kimlip's appearance to show a different side of what they had built. Now the introduction of a new girl draws a even bigger circle now. Jinsoul is the girl of the month. Jinsoul had caught the eyes of the fans first with Bibi's help during her encounter in Hong Kong. She finally joins Loona with a new single, Singing in the Rain. Dressed in a blue school uniform, she brings a future bass track, Singing in the Rain, to show her color to the fullest. The track fires up speakers with its accelerating tempo like a pulsating heart in excitement. Now with its progress just over halfway, the universe of Loona strengthens more and more to show its real potential. Kimlip, Jinsoul and the next girl to come will form a new unit to add colors very different from what Loona 1/3 has brought. The last member of Odd Eye Circle to be revealed was Choerry. She debuted with her song Love Cherry Motion. The MV has white borders and the intro has a black background and a purple moon going from left to right. And just like Jinsoul's moon, it does not eclipse. We can see the white Converse with the red stripe just like Kimlip and Jinsoul wore them in their MVs. We can see Yeojin and Hasul spend some time together. Yeojin is wearing a red and white shirt and Hasul a blue and white shirt. These could represent the colors of the other Odd Eye Circle members. Choerry uses a mirror to get Hasul's attention. Remember this for later. We can see in the background a VHS TV showing static. This kind of reminds me of the Rain 51 Decibel MV. Now we can also see that Yeojin's shirt says Wanderer. This seems quite fitting. We can also see the members' colors in the clothing: hot pink, yellow, orange, green and blue. The clock in the background is not yet showing 8 o'clock, maybe because Choerry is not yet a member of Loona. You can see a moon-shaped lamp and also you can see that Choerry's shirt has rainbow stripes on it. This shot is interesting to me because we can see the camera zoom out and it becomes unfocused. Why would they put this in the MV if not to show that this was filmed by the girls themselves? The girls are going out to swim in colorful outfits, again showing off yellow, pink and green. Choerry has a cherry in her hand even before the cake scene. Maybe this symbolizes that Choerry has awakened her powers before and just didn't notice them. She has a cherry in her hand that can make her teleport to a different dimension. It is literally in plain sight, but she just doesn't know about her powers yet. This could also explain why in her MV there are no black and white shots, like we can see in Kimlip's and Jinsoul's MV, right before they awaken their powers. We see a lot of shots now that the members filmed themselves. Can I also just quickly mention that the whole house has old technology in it? The radio, the TV with the 3:4 ratio. This could be a hint to us, showing that this is a flashback. Now we see the infamous cake, accompanied by the lyrics, "A story starting today." Seems fitting as well. She eats the cherry and seems to faint. Now we see really fast flashes of blue, purple and red. Do you remember how I mentioned black being the secondary color of Jinsoul and white being Choerry's? So Jinsoul was the one to put the cherry on the cake, like we can see in the Lunatic MV. She influences Choerry, which is why this is now a darker shade of purple, clashing with the lighter shade. Jinsoul's darkness clashing with Choerry's brightness. Now we can see Jinsoul in blue, purple, red, and then purple again, before we see purple smoke. The same scene from Jinsoul's MV of the moon being covered up by clouds, but this time we see the moon in purple. Now Kimlip is seen in purple, red, and then purple again. The other Odd Eye Circle members are influenced by Choerry's colors and probably by her powers, since we know that Kimlip's powers awakened because she met Choerry. The other two members join Choerry's love spell and the colors shift between blue, purple, and red. This is also what makes me believe that Choerry is a puzzle piece in piecing together Odd Eye Circle, instead of being the result of Kimlip's red and Jinsoul's blue mixing. We see the purple in between them, just like we see Choerry in between the other two members most of the times. It's not like we see Kimlip, then Jinsoul, and then Choerry next to one another or after one another. Choerry's representative animal is a fruit bat, and this fruit bat is spreading its wings. This could symbolize Choerry spreading her wings, awakening her powers to their fullest potential and flying through the universe. And again we see blue, purple, red, purple, blue. The colors shift into one another. Without each other, they wouldn't have been able to even awaken their powers. At least this is what it seems like to me. Interestingly, we see this scene from before, but in crazy colors and on its head. Choerry lays on the bed with pink, yellow, orange, and green flower bed sheets. On the wall there is the clock from before, but on its head, and the building looks abandoned and overgrown by leaves. Choerry seems to not know where she is, showing to us that she didn't use her powers on purpose, when suddenly she is blinded by a light being reflected into her eyes. This is exactly what Choerry did to Hazel in the beginning of the MV. The person blinding her probably observed this and now copies it to get her attention. She now follows the person she saw from afar, and the lyrics accompanying this scene say, "Started very suddenly this story," which again underlines the fact that Choerry is overwhelmed by these strange things happening to her. In the entire MV, there is a big emphasis put onto color. The Middle Earth having bright green grass to me seems like this is supposed to let us know that every time we see this bright environment, we see Middle Earth. This would explain why the grass, the beach, and the grass in front of the building in the beginning of the MV are so dull. It is in order for us to know that this is not in Middle Earth. There are 12 mirrors on the ground symbolizing the 12 members of Loona, probably. Choerry is dancing in a white outfit now. This is something that all of the Odd Eye Circle members have in common. Choerry sees another version of herself in the mirror and she hands her a cherry. She eats this cherry and faints again. Again we see the light and dark flash. But now the two dancers next to Choerry are Jinsoul and Kimlip. She has crystal earrings on, again reminding me of Hazel. There's a quick cut from the dark purple scene to a light blue one, where they wear light blue outfits instead of dark purple ones. This could mean that now Choerry's lightness and Jinsoul's darkness are mixing, or they are changing each other's colors. It switches again and again. Now we see the bed and Choerry on their heads again, switching from blue, purple, and red. Now the members have mixed, maybe symbolizing that they get along now, and we see the purple and blue mix with one another. The scene is now not too light or not too dark. The colors do not try to outdo one another, but mix with one another. Now Choerry's on her head again, and she has her eyes closed. She's sitting on a tree with purple flowers. Maybe this being flipped on its head also symbolizes that Choerry can now travel to the upside down version of Earth, which is Eden. Now the grass is not a vivid green anymore, but a vivid purple. Just like Kimlip changed the forest around her and Jinsoul changed the water around her, Choerry now colors this world in her colors. Choerry is now sitting in a blue and purple room and is looking at her reflection again, when we see a tree coming through a circle that is over her head. This could be a reference to a lot of different trees. There's the world tree, the tree of life, and the tree of knowledge. These kind of motifs are found in a lot of different cultures all around the world. And since the Loonaverse has some references to Christianity, I should mention that the tree of knowledge is said to grow in the Garden of Eden. Yes, it is the tree. The tree Adam and Eve take apples/plums from and gain knowledge by eating them. The tree is also known as the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This could be seen quite literally, but in actuality a lot of cultures use the term good and evil or evil good to describe everything. This is the case with the phrase good and evil in Hebrew, as well as with the Egyptian expression evil good. So it is the tree of knowledge of everything. The term likely means the knowledge for administering reward and punishment, suggesting that the knowledge forbidden by God and yet acquired by the humans in Genesis 2 and 3 is the wisdom of wielding ultimate power. Well, I don't want to reach, but what happens to the YYXY girls once they ate their fruits? They all of a sudden notice the power of their own free will. They can decide to leave Eden now that they have gained sentience in a way. They have sinned by eating the forbidden fruit. This is why in Love Forever, Olivia Hay is still trusting the headmistress and she eats the food they give to her. She's not refusing to exit Eden, but instead she has no desire to exit, because she has no knowledge of what is right and what is wrong. She has yet to notice that she is naked, to reference the story of Adam and Eve again. You know how they noticed that they were naked just after eating the fruit? Yeah. The world tree is represented as a colossal tree which supports the heavens, thereby connecting the heavens, the terrestrial world, and through its roots, the underworld. Does this remind you of anything? Like, for example, how I've been saying that Oddeye Circle are connecting Eden and Earth, or like I said that Middle Earth is probably just a bridge between worlds. I feel really strongly about this theory because this tree is shown to us a lot in this MV and only in the scenes after Choerry woke up in Middle Earth. The concept of the Tree of Life may have originated in Central Asia and was absorbed by other cultures such as Scandinavian mythology. The Tree of Knowledge connecting to heaven and the underworld, and the Tree of Life connecting all forms of creation. They are both forms of the world tree or cosmic tree, and they are found in a variety of religions and philosophies as the same tree. This could also explain why the colors of the members are so important, and also why Choerry and Jinsoul are the only members to officially have subcolors. If Jinsoul is from Eden, which in this world is a dark and unfriendly place, this could be the stand-in for the underworld. So black and dark blue being her colors makes sense. Then Choerry, who has a bright purple and white as her colors, could be associated with the heavens. This could be a connection to the Loonaverse's Earth, because it seems to be a happy place, or maybe a connection to Middle Earth, which seems to be formed through the powers and wishes of the Oddeye Circle members. So let's continue with the analysis. We see Choerry laying on the ground sleeping, but to me it seems like this is the fainted Choerry from before. We saw Choerry faint and wake up, and then she ate another Choerry and fainted, and now we see her waking up again. Even Choerry's hair is turning purple now. Through their powers, the Oddeye Circle members have created their own world, Middle Earth. At least that is what I think, since they talk about creating their own moon a lot, and a moon is circling Earth, and Middle Earth is circling Earth and is a bridge to Eden. So 3 moons could be a representation of 3 worlds, maybe Choerry from Earth, Jinsoul from Eden, and Kimlip from Middle Earth. Or they this far have been creating their own moon, and now they come together to create one moon together. We see Jinsoul, Choerry and Kimlip standing next to one another, and the water has turned pink, which is the middle ground of red and purple. The Love Choerry motion teasers are interesting to me because it is the only solo that got 2 teasers. In the first teaser we can see Choerry in Middle Earth with the purple grass and trees, the mirrors, the Oddeye Circle members standing in front of the river, and Choerry eating a cherry. The second teaser contrasts the first one. Even the audio sounds differently. This time the audio sounds like a cassette tape recording, and we see Hassel, Yeojin and Choerry spending some time together. Choerry and Yeojin are just 1 year apart from each other in age, which makes me believe that they spent some time together as friends on Earth before Yeojin's disappearance. This explains the cassette tape audio because this far in the Loonaverse old technology has been used to show us what seems to be memories or moments of the past. The Love Cherry Motion MV description says, each member of Loona is introduced with a single of her own. The universe of Loona is expanding by a combination of the new members with previously introduced members. After the announcement of the new unit with Kimlip eclipsing, Loona's colors deepened with Jinsoul Sing in the Rain. The circle gets completed now with the introduction of Choerry. Choerry's title track Love Cherry Motion is a funky pop dance tune blasting through hot summer, demonstrating Choerry's juicy charm. The love spell Love Cherry Motion is produced with the opposing qualities of refreshingly explosive chorus and ethnic break beats to create its own sense of style and finesse. The music video was shot in Jeju Island to capture the visual attraction of the summer. Hassel, the leader of Loona 1/3, and Yeojun, the youngest member of Loona, joined forces to help out in the process. The surprise combination of Kimlip and Jinsoul during the beat break lets the audience to take a little peek at the new unit for the fans to look forward to. The supporting track Puzzle is a duet by Jinsoul and Choerry. Jinsoul's vocal flair and Choerry's beautiful harmonies become the pieces of the puzzle being put together. So this was my analysis of their solo MVs, and I will probably release an analysis video for Heejins' comeback, so stay tuned. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe.